The murder of Dawn Lee Swan Magyar occurred on January 27, 1973. She had been abducted, raped, and shot 3 times. The case was resolved 28 years after her body was found. Background: Magyar was born Dawn Lee Swan on March 28, 1952 in the U.S. state of Michigan, and grew up there in the city of Corona. At the time of her murder, she was 20 years old, married and had 1 child, and was a housewife living in Chesaning, Michigan with her husband Don Magyar and baby son. Murder: Magyar was abducted while she was grocery shopping in Owasso, Michigan in Shiawassee County on January 27, 1973. She was last seen by a friend who briefly talked with her in the supermarket checkout line and saw her leave the store with her purchases. After Magyar failed to return home, her husband reported her missing. The following day, the borrowed truck that Magyar had been driving was found in the shopping center parking lot with her purchases inside and her keys scattered in and around the truck, suggesting a forceful abduction. Despite a massive search of the area involving 4,000 local volunteers, Magyar was not found. On March 4, her body was discovered in a wooded area in Saginaw County, Michigan. She had been raped and then shot 3 times in the head and back with a .22 caliber gun. An autopsy indicated that Magyar had probably been killed within 90 minutes of being abducted. In June 1974, a .22 caliber revolver believed to be the murder weapon was recovered from the Shiawassee River in Owasso. The gun was traced to a pawn shop in Yuma, Arizona where a man named Robert Shaw purchased it in 1965, but investigators could not locate Shaw at that time. Magyar's wallet and identification were found in 1976 on the riverbank in the same area where the gun had been found. Reopening: in 1994, police decided to reopen the case. DNA analysis was then performed from the sperm specimens found with Magyar's corpse. In 1998, Robert Shaw was located, and told authorities that the gun had indeed belonged to him, but that it had been lost many years before. He was later cleared by DNA testing. He provided information that a man named Gerald Leroy Wing Ar, whom his previous wife had known, may have been involved in the murder. Wing Ar, a former University of Michigan engineering student, had a prior 1961 conviction for the rape of a blind female student and the robbery of her escort in Ann Arbor Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan, for which he served a prison sentence between 1961 and 1969. Wing Ar had also been charged in the 1979 rape and murder of 16-year-old Laura McVeigh near Hubbardston, Michigan, but that case was dismissed before trial due to errors in evidence retrieval. However, by 1994, Wing Ar was living a quiet life in Center Line, Michigan with his 4th wife and working for a Big 3 automobile manufacturer in Detroit. He was considered a respectable member of his community, known for his computer skills. Police subsequently obtained Wing Ar's DNA from saliva on cigarette butts he had used and discarded in his trash, and found that Wing Ar's DNA matched the samples taken from the Magyar crime scene. They also determined that Wing Ar had been in the Owasso area visiting a friend around the time of Magyar's murder. As investigators were unable to establish any link between Wing Ar and Magyar, they believed that Wing Ar had seen her in the shopping center parking lot and randomly chose her as his victim. On March 7, 2001, Wing Ar, then aged 60, was arrested and charged with Magyar's murder. On November 27, 2001, Wing Ar was found guilty and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. In media, Magyar's case was detailed in Truv's crime documentary series, The Investigators, titled The Disappearance of Dawn. The A&E Network series Cold Case Files also documented the case in Season 2, Episode 13, Vintage Murder. Anthony Tony Hornus, a high school classmate of Dawn Magyar who covered the case as a reporter for the Owasso Argus Press, later wrote and co-directed the 2004 film An Ordinary Killer based on Magyar's murder. The film starred Terence Knox, Dennis Haskins and Dan Haggerty, and utilized many of the actual locations related to the crime and investigation. Hornus also wrote a book about the Magyar case entitled An Ordinary Killer, which was published in 2008.